What's up, Yoda gamers? Bobby Kunta here. I'm here with Kieran Warwick, CEO and co-founder of Illuvium.io. We're going to jump into some background, how to get started, a little bit of alpha for you, so stick around till the end. Let's just jump right into it, huh, Kieran?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
I've never played a Web3 game before. Why should Illuvium be my first?
So the quality of our games and the ease of onboarding. Designing our game so you almost won't even know that you're playing a Web3 game. And I think that's the goal for all Web3 games, is to have mainstream people play or crypto native people play and not even know the difference between a Web2 game and a Web3 game, apart from the benefits, right? Like the ownership of it, the marketplace where you can start selling assets, the ability to take your assets into another game that sits inside of that studio. Yeah, just those points there.
I've chosen Illuvium as the first game I want to play in Web3. Now, how do I get started?
Yep. So you go to the Epic Games launcher, download the game, create an IMX passport. That passport will give you a non-custodial wallet. That's really important because if you're a mainstream user that doesn't know what crypto game, it will provide you your own wallet. So you'll go through our games, you'll start collecting assets, and you won't even know that we're storing them for you on chain. And then when you're ready, you can transfer items out of your wallet to your own native wallet. And that's when you can start, doing whatever you like with them.
So, Kieran, tell me, asking everybody, it's probably the biggest conversation we got out there. What are your predictions for the integrations of Web3 tech into mainstream gaming? Can you give us some kind of timeline of how you see that unfolding?
So I think over the next 10 years that around about 50% of games will be being built on chain. I genuinely think that. It's obviously a very bold claim, but my reasoning behind that is once people start to experience the benefits playing a game that has verifiable on-chain assets and marketplaces, economies internally where you can actually start selling things, you can start making potentially money off these games. I really doubt it, as long as the quality is there and the ease of onboarding where you don't need to go through 55 hoops just to get into the game. As long as all of that is clear, then those benefits that I talked about in the beginning, we're not going to give that up as gamers. We're going to expect that, and we're going to expect that of our large scale studios. And once we get to that stage, there's just no going back, in my opinion.
Tell me what your favorite games in 2024 are, like games that have either recently released or maybe on the near horizon.
So I don't get to play many games. Obviously, I'm quite busy at the moment, but I loved playing Power World. That was really good. I gave Mavia a go, and I think that's got a lot of potential over time to build into a really good mobile game. Games that haven't launched yet, probably the one that I'm most excited about, Cloud Castles, which is very similar to, like, they're building like a Heroes Magic, a Web3 version, which I think will be quite awesome. And then also Treeverse. I'm a big fan of what they're building as well.
What are a few key things that game studios should keep in mind when they're developing a game that they want to see competitive players taking to esports tournaments?
So I would say partner with or attempt to partner with esports organizations very early on. What you should be trying to do is get the game in their hands, even if it's early access or an alpha or a beta or whatever it might be. They have, in our experience, some of the best, most constructive criticism and feedback that has allowed us to shape our game in a way that esports is going to give it a much higher, better shot mainstream adoption. There's not many games that fit that bill that have, enough esports players to actually sustain doing tournaments on a regular basis.
So there's a lot of gamers listening to this. We're maybe 4 minutes into this video. Hopefully we kept your attention span this long because this is a big one for the game right there. What's something that every gamer should be thinking about, but probably isn't when considering ways to make a career for themselves in gaming?
Again, content creation. I think that's the biggest one. It's the holy grail, but you have to be original. There's so many people that go out in a monotonous, just stale way where they're just talking about a game. Like, you've either got to be super hyped up, or you've got to be super informative, or you've got to bring in crazy stuff like different formats that no one has seen before. And then you've got to stay consistent, right? Like that's like, you're going to have that unique property that no one else is doing in the space, and think really, really hard about that. Like, what's the image that I want to project? And then be consistent. Keep that same image. So like, come up with stuff like that, review games. You've got a chance to build a really big audience.
Cool. So we're about to wrap it up, Kieran. For the people who stuck around here to the end, let's give them a little blessing. Drop some alpha for us. What's something that's going to be happening here in the next few weeks in the Illuvium ecosystem that we should all have on our radar?
So everyone should go and pre-register for our private beta 4. It's the last beta before we go live. And if you get into that beta, you'll receive the first airdrop points. The airdrop I'm talking about is a massive 25 million plus drop that we're going to be doing at current value. Touch wood, that doesn't change when this gets published, but yeah, a very, very large amount of money in this airdrop that potential gamers can earn, and which is just a cherry on top.
Great. Where can we pre-register?
Yeah, you pre-register at illuvium.io.
Yoda Labs is your trusted source for Web3 gaming news and research.